Today I want to talk to you about an exception to the rule. So we've talked about closed syllables, but there is actually something called a closed syllable exception. So a closed syllable has one vowel, and the vowel must be closed in by one or more consonants. When that happens, it makes our vowel a short sound because it's closed in at the end. So this word would be k, odd, cod, which is a type of fish, and my O is making that ah sound because it is closed in. But I want you to look at this next word. This word doesn't say called, this word is cold. Listen to those sounds for a minute. K, old. Do you hear the difference in that O? So this is a closed exception. In a closed exception, you have some of the same rules as closed syllables. You still have one vowel. That vowel is still closed in at the end. I do have consonants after it. But instead of making the short sound like it's supposed to, this vowel is saying its name. This is making a long vowel sound and saying cold. Now, an exception is something that doesn't follow the rule, and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. When there's an exception, something unexpected happens, something that doesn't usually happen. So in a closed exception, the vowel sound makes the long sound, because in a closed syllable, we would expect it to be short. But for a closed exception, the exception is it's making that long vowel sound. Our 5 closed exceptions are IND, which says ind, like find, ILD, which says ild, like wild, OST, which says ost, like post, OLT, which says olt, like colt, and OLD, which says old, like cold. Did you notice in each of those 5, the vowel said its name, either I or O? It's making an exception to the rule because it is closed in, but it's still saying its name. So, that being said, I want you to look at these words. I see that OLD exception up here in this word. So this says old, sold. In this word, I see the ILD exception, which says ild, ild, mild. And then down here, I see IND, which I know says ind, 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 blind. When you're thinking about closed exceptions, you kind of have to think about chunks of words. And when you see these together, they're going to make that special sound. Now, that being said, there are exceptions to the exceptions. So you have to be careful. Because this, I just told you, OST says ost. So here we have ost. But this one doesn't say lost. It says lost. So while usually in these exceptions it's going to make the long vowel sounds, there are a couple of times it might sneak back to that short vowel sound. Sometimes it's really, really tricky because this word and this word are actually different. This word is wind, with a short vowel sound, and this word is wind with a long vowel sound. So even though we know these rules and these phonic sounds, we might have to be very careful and read the context and think about what is happening in our story. Are we talking about the wind blowing, or are we talking about the man winding his fishing pole? Just to go over it one more time. With your closed exceptions, they are not following what we know as the closed vowel rules. They do have one vowel. That one vowel is closed in at the end by at least one consonant, but the exception to the rule is instead of making a short sound, it's going to be long in eind, eild, old, olt, and ost. So be careful of those closed vowel exceptions where our vowel sneaks along and makes its long sound. I hope this helps you in your reading.